Straight line missions are tough, very tough. You would think the act of walking across an entire country in a completely straight line would come as naturally as a Sunday stroll around the park or a challenging gym session, but you'd be wrong.
Does anyone really think that? Probably not. Anyway, let's continue.
5 times over the past few years, I tried to emulate a certain Mr. Tom Davies, better known on YouTube as GeoWizard, in gallivanting optimistically across endless British countryside in some esoteric walking challenge. And 5 times I'd failed in various catastrophic ways. So let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Marcus Gosling, and by day I actually teach chess to kids in and around the town of Epsom, which is near London. And much like some of you guys, I avidly watched Tom's YouTube channel during the dark days of the COVID lockdowns in the early part of the decade. And so desperate was I to get out and about, I promised myself I'd have a go at a straight line mission once restrictions eased. So in October 2021, I excitedly drove my Ford Fiesta to Wales with hope in my heart and thunder and lightning in my eyes to attempt a 42-mile straight line mission from the Welsh border with England to the west coast. To call this mission an unmitigated disaster would be very kind indeed. Never before in human history had so many mishaps happened to a single person in such a short space of time. I made it 1.5 miles before my GPS packed up in protest and I got chased over 100 metres off course by a startled horse. Safe to say, when I got back home and begrudgingly edited the footage to upload to YouTube, I was content in the knowledge that very few people would actually watch my video, and better still, at least I'd given straight line missioning a go and I'd never have to go through such an ordeal ever again. But I was wrong on both counts. Not only did my video get way more traction than I could have ever imagined, I began getting emails from other budding straight line mission fantasists offering to team up with me on a possible sequel, this time across Scotland. Fast forward 6 months and I teamed up with Ian and Cody for a west to east crossing of the Scottish Highlands. Now this might seem barely believable, but the second mission was even more disastrous, with an almost impossible first mile of terrain holding us up badly, before the weather took a turn for the worse and we spent the most miserable night of our lives, injured, shivering and close to hypothermic in a remote bothy. If that wasn't enough punishment, my third mission was thwarted by a lack of food, water and energy as I failed to muddle my way through a nightmarish Welsh forest, and my fourth mission was scuppered by a swollen river and poor planning in the Scottish Highlands, not to mention of course the food poisoning I got from a dodgy pizza joint in Wilston Junction on the eve of the mission. Unperturbed by previous disasters, on my fifth mission I watched in utter dismay as my GoPro ended up in a muddy Welsh bog and we got surrounded by inquisitive cows and had to be rescued by a local farmer. You can of course amuse yourself by checking out all of these disasters on my YouTube channel. But now let's fast forward to late January 2025.
Small package, Mr. Gosling.
None of your business. Oh.
Not bad, Marcus. Not bad at all. I'm impressed. These are the times that I want you to achieve by the 20th of March if you are to mission with the GeoWizard. Okay, I want you to run a 5k in 24 minutes and I want you to hit the 20-minute mark for 100 flights of stairs. Okay, good luck. You can do it.
I think it's time to get training. So, with a successful one-day training mission across the Brecon Beacons under my belt, and with training complete and equipment and supplies ready, there are only two things left to reveal: the team and the straight line route. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Alongside me for my third crack at Scotland is the grandmaster of missioning, the inventor of the straight line mission himself, the one and only Tom Davies, aka GeoWizard. With around 200 miles of missioning under his belt, this man knows a straight line like the back of his hand and has the scars and stories to prove it. Can the two of us form the most unlikely of partnerships and succeed together? Equally as important is our support person, and we are glad to welcome back the inimitable Steve Phillips, who will be doing all he can to keep us pointing in the right direction. So, as you can see, the team decided on another Highland route, very similar in fact to my two previous Scotland missions, except for two major differences. Firstly, we would be going east to west, and secondly, we would be starting at a tidal estuary called Dornoch Firth, presumably Colin's Scottish cousin. Allowing ourselves a couple of days to drive all the way up to northern Scotland and then check out a couple of potentially thorny sections of the route, we would start the mission on Friday the 4th of April and aim to complete the 32.87 miles, which is just under 53 kilometres, in 3 days. On day 1 we would be tackling a couple of farms before heading into a woodland section. Assuming we wouldn't get held up too badly, we would hope to make good progress across the initial moorland section before our first major rendezvous with Steve at the River Carron. We would need an inflatable kayak for the crossing before a couple of relatively steep climbs across several more miles of moorland to Camp 1B, where we could meet up with Steve once again to gather warm clothes and more food supplies. Day 2 would be a true test of our fitness with some significant altitude changes and leg-wearying climbs across endless moorland. Later in the day, we would face another river beside a third rendezvous point at Currymolsey, which is the point at which both my previous Scotland missions had ended. Not long after that, we would come to the fierce-looking Knockdamph Gully, perhaps one of our biggest obstacles in terms of the success of the mission. We would then hope to find somewhere relatively dry for an overnight stop in the wilderness around Camp 2B. Day 3 would see us tackle incessant altitude changes, including some potentially hazardous crags, before the last major obstacle, Loch Dhu, which we would have to cross with Steve's help 3 times in our inflatable kayak. Loch Dhu is a place I'm familiar with, having previously skirted it and admired its beauty on my first Scotland mission. From there, the remaining 2 miles would involve negotiating numerous tricky crags, shown here during our scout out session on the eve of the expedition. So, nearly 33 miles of straight line missioning across some of Scotland's harshest and most ankle breaking terrain. A painful 3 days were ahead of us, and yet we were feeling optimistic. The weather forecaster predicted gorgeous sunshine all week and crucially no rain. And following a last minute sort out of equipment and supplies at our Airbnb, and of course a brief sortie to the nearest pub, we all got an early night, raring to embark on our quest to conquer Scotland. And this time, nothing could go wrong.
Good morning everybody, I am currently on the east coast of Scotland. I am here, not by myself, but with another straight line missioner. He's on his 8th mission, he tells me. And ready to go pretty much.
Ready to go,
yeah.
And ready to succeed.
I hope with Tom's help I'm going to be able to get my first ever success, and if I do, well, there's no stopping me.
Yeah. Who knows where you'll go.
Straight line mission across Europe, across Mars, across Jupiter, so much in store.
The world's your oyster.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of farmland and then up into the woods and moors, etc. So
yeah. We've got a lot to do, haven't we? But I'm raring to go.
Yeah.
We're going to smash it, Marcus.
I hope so.
We're going to smash it. Come
Good
on.
luck.
Let's do it.
Already farming activity within about 100 yards of the start. Very good omen for the trip.
We do have a right to roam in Scotland.
Here goes Tom. Well, what's this we've got here? Ah, right. That's a bit unfortunate this early hour. Tom's weighing up his options and his life options.
I think we can stepping stone this.
Okay. watching the master at work in his element. What a privilege. More farmland. Right, after that initial flurry of activity, we run in the general direction of forests and gorse, everyone's favourite.
There is gorse.
There is. But today we've become equipped with gaiters.
We've got our gaiters.
Yeah, so no excuses here.
Yeah.
Tom knows all too well about the perils of gorse.
Just a real annoyance. And I think we should get our leather gloves on as well.
Leather gloves.
I
Oh,
don't know if these will cut the mustard.
well, I've gone biker gloves this time for access to my electronics.
But you're
but,
hard, aren't you? You're hard.
There's
you're
no,
a hard
there's no
cat.
doubting that.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
There's a massive gorse patches that will seriously scupper our plan. But also these forests, if these forests are like that, roomy, look at that, that looks gorgeous.
It's nice, isn't it?
That's like a missioner's dream forest.
What should we do?
Gotta go for it, mate, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Part of the job description.
Okay.
You run faster than me, that's what you've got to do.
Yeah, oh god.
In the lead up to this mission, I'd created a comprehensive risk assessment diagram depicting all the potential hazards and pitfalls I might encounter on the expedition. As you can see, the risk of bovine intervention ranks quite highly, and a possible cow stampede was very much at the forefront of my mind. In the UK, as many as 4 people a year are killed to death by cows, and I was keen to avoid being one of them.
Hello. Hello, girls. How are we doing? They're really not aggressive animals. Hello. Hello there. Just passing through, Mr. Black. Hello there. Hello. Straight through this gorse, Marcus.
Yep.
Hello there. Hello, that's it. Hello, cowies.
We can run to the safety of the gorse if necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another danger averted, Marcus.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, isn't it? I mean, that would have terrified me on my own, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I think sometimes just having the company of someone who's, I guess, got a bit more experience, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? But I get really scared on my own as well.
Yeah. There you go. Face your fears. Don't face cows. Escaped the cow field, but into a new obstacle.
Into a whole new world.
Yes. Oh no. Everyone's favourite type of woodland. Densely packed. What kind of tree is this, Tom?
Well, I've been saying pine, knowing full well that it isn't pine. I think it's spruce.
Spruce.
Yeah, I just say pine just because everyone knows that word.
Little knoblets of moss. A Hawaiian delicacy, I'm told. Let's give you a bit of an idea. POV. This kind of thing we're dealing with here. Oh. Yeah, and through. You may notice I'm wearing my straight line glasses. This is a slight improvement based on the fact that in tents it's basically impossible to put contact lenses in. So I am going with glasses, and it does help. It guards my eyes from twangers, as Tom very eruditely put. It's not a bad decision, I think, to wear glasses.
How you doing back there, Marcus?
All good, yeah, all good. We're just stopping off for a few minutes just to gather our thoughts and, well, not really, to actually refuel ourselves, to be honest. Just a couple of cereal bars down the gullet and a bit of Lucozade in there as well. Tom, what you got there?
Just some water, some weirdly peppery tasting tap water. And I'm going to have a cereal bar and maybe a slice of biltong. Little doses of fuel throughout the day, spread out. Short stops, keeping an eye on the time will get us there.
Yeah, I think Tom's right, just keeping yourself not hungry at any point really, just eating while you can, grazing, I think, like those cows that we just negotiated. Constantly eating something, luckily not us, but all good.
I like how I'm playing this like sensei role of like, I know everything, when in reality I've had plenty of calamities myself.
No, well, not compared to me, I don't think. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
think we found one of the field houses again, didn't we?
Those of you who have watched Tom's Mission Across England series will understand how relieved we felt that this wooded area didn't feature any fallen trees.
How's it going?
Alright, they're getting a bit dense here, but nothing we can't handle. I start to feel a bit like weak as well.
Oil the larynx, or whatever it's called.
I'm gonna have 2.
Yeah, go for it. Double dose.
I'm hardcore.
That Tom's got a needle problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
needles down the back. What's become of me? I'm such a pansy these days.
Yeah, such a junkie.
Ah, yeah.
The needle takes another man. As Neil Young would say.
This isn't me taking a rest, guys. I have just absolutely hit the deck.
Yes, 1-0 currently on the falling
This is
scale.
like Ipswich Town losing to Barnet.
Give us a wave, Tom.
Good to be out in nature, isn't it, Marcus?
Yeah, super. It's really good. This is what it's all about.
If nothing else, yeah. We are flying. Marcus, you are... I can't keep up with you, mate.
Yeah, they call me the peregrine falcon. Yeah, because I'm so bird-like. I think generally if you're one of these people that tends to sit at home watching TV, playing computer games, you know,
Rotting your brain.
Yeah. Try and get out and just do a few minutes, just out, walk around the park, local park or something, and it clears your mind, as I said, clears your lungs,
Yeah.
gives you a sense of purpose, I suppose, isn't it?
With every tweet of the bird, I don't know where I'm going with that. Every bird's tweet.
It's
No, I
so
can't.
poetic. So
Yeah.
poetic.
Can you edit this out? Yeah, the bird song, the peace, the quiet, it just sort of cleanses your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a sort of wet wipe on your skin.
Yes.
The city, the rat race, it's like a cheese grater on your soul. Just grating away.
Yeah.
Day by day.
Yeah. Like peeling a carrot.
I guess we wouldn't be launching any life coaching books anytime soon then? Oh well.
They're quite spiky, Marcus.
Yeah. Got a lovely patch of gorse to go through. Tell you what, I should have worn a box.
Right, I'll stamp them down and you just
Yeah.
come over it.
That's how it goes, yeah. How are we doing on the line, Tom?
Bob on, mate. Call me Bob because I'm Bob on. Bit of a steep canyon here, but nothing we can't manage.
Yeah. Bit of a water obstacle at the end there. Everyone's favourite. Tom just changing the GoPro battery.
Hello. There's literally just one field there, surrounded by like, you know, moorland and forest. So I'm not really. For once, I'm not bothered.
You know what's bang on our line, guys? I think that little window.
Incredibly unstable doorway.
You can blame me if you die, it's fine. There's a bit of farming activity. Don't forget, in Scotland we got right to roam, so to be honest we shouldn't really be that worried. There's a bit of variety to the mission, doesn't it, Tom?
Yeah. It'd be nice to have a bit of an interaction, if anything.
Yeah. Quite lonely out here. You can hear it as well, you can hear electricity. Yeah.
Our brains are slowly being microwaved.
And what model is that, by the way?
66S.
Oh yeah, I've only got the 64 SX. So I have the responsibility of holding GeoWizard's GPS, which is quite something. It's like holding someone else's baby, eh?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. Be careful with it now.
Yeah. I'll cradle it.
You're not even looking at it.
No, that's a good point actually, yeah. Whoops. But ahead of us, some very doable terrain here.
Yeah.
And
then it's the large forest, isn't it?
yes, forests are slower progress, but this kind of thing, flat, a bit bobbly, but nothing to complain about too much as I wander 2 meters off the line. Outrageous. In the distance, we've got Bonner Bridge. Up ahead of us is the biggest forest of day one. We've gone through one section already. Biggest forest of the whole trip, is it? Yeah. Very easy to walk off the end of that little well, I'm not going to call it a cliff. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but
Just to the right.
what we're hoping for here, Tom, what do you think?
Vertical trees. We don't want any of the crap that I encountered in England.
Yeah.
Deadly lethal crap. We want it to stay as it was earlier. If it's like that, we'll not only move quick, but we won't deviate and we'll stay safe.
Yeah, fingers crossed we have a nice run through this forest, otherwise we could be stuck there for a fair old chunk of time. Do you want me to hold it at all?
Bit of a wobbler. Ooh.
Don't snag your crown jewels. Don't want any of that.
There's not much to snag.
Nicely done, sir. First Mars bar of the day. First of many, I suspect, on this trip. What you got there, Tom?
Something slightly more healthy, but not a great deal more. Just a little cereal bar.
Yeah, we're just wending our way out of this forest now, and you can see Tom is exiting, and we're actually about to approach emergency meeting point 1. We may not need to meet Steve, but Steve is on hand with supplies, potentially. I don't think he's here, but here is a road that he could potentially use. I really like these mossy areas. They feel quite magical to me. Quite spongy. Wonder if anyone's ever trodden through here. I think we're the first people to come through here, Tom.
Definitely walking in this particular direction. I suppose the guys or girls who planted these trees set foot here about 20 years ago, but yeah, not many.
Yeah, we're just skirting a deer fence here. You can see in the distance a couple of hunting huts, Tom thinks.
Hopefully we're not damaging them.
No, leave no trace.
Damaging our ghoulies.
Yeah. There we go. The master in his element there.
But as we strode confidently out of this woodland, we discovered something awry with our GPS devices. They weren't matching up.
Maybe it is the curvature of the earth thing that's going on.
Yeah. So according to my GPS, I'm about 20 metres off. On Tom's, it says he's bang on. We're going to use Tom's because that's probably best. But I mean, it's very odd. Very odd, isn't it?
It could be that this map, kind of in line with what Steve was saying yesterday, for some reason you've got a map that uses a different...
Could be. It's strange. But
it is strange.
Never had that problem. Well, I mean, I've not had this bigger problem.
Because it seems to be widening as we go.
Yeah. I don't know. Just rely on yours, I think.
Rely on mine. I mean, we lined it up with the pylon. It said we were going under the pylon and we were under the pylon, so...
Yeah, now yours is better.
But putting our faith in Tom's GPS device turned out to be a terrible mistake, as we would discover in a few moments' time.
And we're being watched as well.
Very nice.
First hiccup by myself.
You managed? Do you want me to unhook you?
Unhook me, mate. This is humiliating.
You got it. Oh. Yeah, all that just to go 5 metres off course. There's a bloody great ladder there. Oh dear.
Oh dear. That is not good.
Oh, we didn't see that on the imagery, did we? How the hell are we going to get down there?
I am genuinely really worried about how we're going to get down there. Oh my god, it was going too well, wasn't it? Right, I'm going to have a look very carefully.
That is a sheer drop, if ever I saw one. That is very worrying, actually. Bloody hell. How big a drop's that, do you reckon? Whew. Don't have a head for heights, that's for sure. Tom's having a look to the right of the line here. He says it's not great at all.
It's not ideal, that.
No.
Can't believe this.
Yeah. What do you think is better, left or right?
I've just gone off 12 metres over there.
Okay. I mean, down there looks pretty nasty as well, to be honest. What have you found, Tom?
I think that is workable. Because of the way the line is moving diagonally here, we can get down there, look, and we'll be about 15 metres off.
Okay.
And safe and sound.
Promising, yeah.
That's like 6 or 7 metres sheer drop.
At least.
Yeah.
More like 10 or 20.
Yeah, 10 probably, yeah.
My GoPro doesn't do this drop any justice at all. It was actually pretty scary.
Our next problem is how to cross the river.
I'm not particularly confident, but I mean, we'll try.
Or down there,
Yeah,
little
maybe a
flat.
lower would be better.
It is doable.
Yeah. So we were just walking across that overhang.
Just use that.
Blimey, that's what we've just come down.
As you might imagine, we were very glad indeed to have got past that unexpected ravine.
It's blasting out of this forest. Oh, into a freshly made clearing. So after this little bit of clearing here, we'll be back into the forest again. Been holding up okay generally, so yeah, fingers crossed this will continue. Something okay, he's got a bit of a sore throat, so he's trying to take strepsils and keep himself healthy. Probably exacerbated by all this pine forest getting in his windpipe. No doubt when we get back onto the moors, or onto the moors for the first time, then things will improve for the both of us. And the speed will increase too, because currently we're going at about 1 mile an hour. Not unexpected, but try and make the most when we do get on the open terrain. How are you feeling, Tom?
Yeah, I think I'm in a bit of a trough with my throat and just generally how I feel. It seems to be coming in peaks and troughs, so I'm just ploughing on through this forest and looking forward to getting out into the moorland.
Yeah, same.
And I'm just grateful that this forest is okay.
It could be a hell of a lot worse.
Oh mate, yeah.
Yeah. Out of one section into yet another, but not long to go now, probably about 150 metres left. Liking this sort of Christmassy feel to the trees. Well, we're not out of the woods yet. Oh yes we are. We're into the new territory, and very beautiful it is too. Pretty much bang on line there, and as we exit the forest section, we have to cross many miles of this kind of moorland. Now this is going to be the sort of status quo for the next day and a half, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Barring the odd river crossing. Tom, you're feeling a little bit better probably now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in a peak at the moment. I'm feeling all right. I'm just happy to be out in the wilderness, out on the moors where we can sort of hopefully make up for some lost time.
But sure enough, just as our spirit was raising, we encountered every straight line missioner's worst nightmare, a GPS issue. I'll leave it to Steve Phillips, our support guy, to explain the problem.
So, because the Earth is a sphere, creating a 2D map of the Earth to draw a line on it is kind of difficult. So what we do is we use something called projections. On the screen now is a common projection of the world. This is a great representation of the world. The equator is pretty accurate. However, as you go north or south, it's stretched. Now, this is important to keep in mind because this is the underlying projection of Google Earth. Yes, Google Earth does some fancy stuff and makes it look like a sphere, but this is the underlying projection. So in Great Britain, we often use a projection called British National Grid. And the purpose of this projection is to display our part of the world with minimal stretching and distortion. As you've probably now guessed, what happened was the line was planned in Google Earth using one projection. However, when it was uploaded to the GPS unit, it got converted to British National Grid. So what this did was it straightened out the line. So on this last image that you can see on the screen, you can see the start and end points are exactly the same. However, the Google Earth line bows to the north.
Just to give you all a visual indicator of what this looks like, here is the data readout from Tom's main GPS, which is the big dotted yellow line within the pink platinum run and golden gold run tram lines. Things start off okay, but then we start drifting to the left. Large deviations of 46.72 metres and then 47.16 metres ensued, soon followed by a similarly ugly deviation of 44.98 metres. To our great relief though, we avoided slipping outside the gold corridor, and thank God for that small lock that blocked our path. From then on, we immediately corrected ourselves and switched to using my GPS.
Yes, I fully appreciate the irony of going on a straight line mission with the master of straight line missions only for the line not to be straight. Just my luck, I suppose. At least we didn't go outside the 50-metre gold corridor. Anyway, back to the action.
And I thought we were onto the moors out of the woodland, but instead we're faced with all this kind of rubbish. It's not quite what I was expecting. Here's another little ravine here to take into account. Just been filling up this bottle. Tom's gurgling some delicious water there. He's filled up using his filter bottle. I'm having some squashies. I'm trying desperately to get some sponsorship deal here. I know I'm pushing it a bit, but love these. Tom, what have you got there?
Oh.
Yeah, I thought so. Excellent. Thanks for that.
But what had become of Steve, you may ask?
Marcus and Tom should be over there somewhere in the distance. And whilst they're making their way towards the river crossing, I am going to use a mountain bike I've acquired from my brother and cycle down and scout out some campsites for tonight. So, gonna have to see how this bike goes. I've not cycled in about 10 years and I've never ridden that bike, so fun times.
Yes, this moorland terrain is obviously much quicker to progress through. However, a lot of stomping to get over these knoblets and tufts of grass, these kind of things. Little boggy bits. Up ahead, looking forward to that green grassy bit. And still weather pretty reasonable. Now I don't really want the sun beating down on us. This is very pleasant to walk through, so no complaints really. Yeah, not bad.
You might be able to see what your 5k time outdoors will be over there.
Oh yeah. Whoops. Still, we edge our way through this moorland section, hoping to reach the brow of this hill and down into the valley where Steve's going to meet us at the River Carron. Good to see someone different other than Mr. GeoWizard. Not saying anything. A nice view of what we've tackled already, and slightly less nice view coming up. Starting to head downhill now, which is a nice relief. Going to the right, I think. Yeah, right of that lock. Down into that valley in the distance where we were going to meet Steve, hopefully, and then we'll be up that very sharp climb, which is going to be deeply unpleasant.
As we wended our way down towards the River Carron, inhibited every furlong or so by a plethora of deer fences that made us feel like Red Rum and Foynhaven, we felt our odds of a successful mission slowly increasing. Ignoring the annoying GPS trouble for one moment, Day 1 had been a solid effort so far, and we were on course to reach Camp 1B at the 12-mile point on schedule. As we scurried through someone's back garden, I also passed the underwhelming mileage I achieved on my previous Wales mission with Ben.
All good? Yeah, all good. Yeah. It's coming back though, isn't it? No? Oh! Jesus.
Ow.
You're right.
Keen to divert attention away from his rather embarrassing fall, Tom distracted me with a flock of fearsome fiends.
Yeah, are you alright, Marcus?
Soon, though, we would be approaching the River Carron, and Steve was not quite ready for us.
Fastidiously running back and forth from his car, as if surprised by us, even though he he knew we were coming. He's been caught unawares. Oh dear. I think that might be a pay deduction.
Our hopes of a speedy crossing of the River Carron were scuppered, but never mind. But the issue now was getting the kayak across to us.
I'm going to launch it towards you guys, okay?
What?
So if I push it out...
Are you not paddling over?
How do you think we're going to catch it though? How far off Platinum are you?
It's a long story.
It's probably gonna land over there.
We're on the line now, but I was thinking if you paddle over. Oh yeah, but how would you get back? Yeah.
We could do a goat thing. Two of us go.
I was thinking if I push it out,
Yeah.
if it fails, I can pull it back.
Okay.
That ain't gonna work.
Why don't we all just you paddle over here and we'll all come over?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Mate.
No. That's never working.
No, I think you're gonna have to paddle over. Risky business, kneeling.
Eventually, Steve did bow down to Tom's advice, and we were able to catch up on the day's play so far.
Cool.
So we tried to ring you earlier. We had a bit of a disaster.
Did you?
We were following. I've got 2 GPS systems.
Yeah.
He's got 1. Sorry, Mark. Carry on. We were following the better one of mine, which I believe is more accurate.
Yeah.
A little while in, Marcus's one seems a little bit off to the left.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, well we'll follow Marcus because it served me well in the past. You know, countless times. And then, what was it? We got to this lake about 5 miles in, and my line is going through the middle of the lake, whereas his is going, you know, skirting to the edge.
I tried to cycle up the track
Okay.
to get to the 26k walk-in, but I've completely underestimated how long that damn track is because it curves up.
Really long.
I cycled half an hour and I was only halfway. It's an hour's cycle.
Don't worry
And then
then.
it's a walk-in.
There we go.
Okay, and we're off. This is really uncomfortable. I got cramp.
Oh, great timing.
Oh
God.
Oh man.
Is it ended?
Yeah, just. Oh, that was bad. I guess I'm still getting it.
Oh god.
Oh, it's because of the angle.
Yeah. Try and get your.
Well, it sort of worked.
I just hit you on the head with my paddle. No.
This wasn't how I envisaged it, but it's okay. Oh,
Should we just get out here?
could do. Yeah. You get out first.
I think I need you to get out first
Okay.
because you're closer to the rocks.
True, yeah. Okay. Right. Do you want to hang on to that?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks. I could get the bags maybe.
Yeah.
If you pass them to me.
There you go.
Yep. Cheers. Okay.
About 12 metres off, I'd say. I'm not sure you put that on correctly, Marcus.
Yeah, I know I've got 2 arms and I've got a head, but somehow they all got sort of muddled up.
You've Balotelli'd that.
Yeah, why always me?
Yeah, why always you?
So after getting cramp in the river, now I've got to get this thing off as well. Dear me. I think I found my sign.
This was taken on our prep day.
See you, Steve.
Poked in the eye.
Oh dear. So we've escaped Steve's clutches. The initial plan earlier in the day was to try and maybe make it to the halfway point at the end of the day and maybe do it in 2 days. But
Truly out the window now.
that has fallen by the wayside, and I think probably we'll do it in 3 now. But that does mean we can take things a little bit easier. I don't have to keep pushing on.
Every cloud.
So as you can see, this is the kind of terrain we're putting up with now. So entering pine areas, getting smashed in the face by loose branches. Yeah, day one so far has been reasonably challenging. Nothing that I couldn't manage. Yeah, we've had a good range of territories. We've had densely packed woodland, less densely packed woodland, had a river to cross, of course, as you saw. We've had some steep uphill and downhill, quite a respectable distance, I would say. Tom's coping well. He was feeling a bit worse for wear earlier because he's had some issue with his throat earlier, so yeah, I'm also fine. Bit out of breath from this pretty steep, vertiginous climb. We're still electing to do this in 3 days. There was some talk of us doing it in 2, but that's sort of out the window now. So 3 days is still good. So we're hoping to get to the camp point probably 5 o'clock.
Viewers can make up their own minds about what Tom was engaging in at this moment, but I was content to perch upwind as Dresden Cathedral suffered its second demolition.
It's really nice just to sit down and do nothing for a few minutes. It's quite cosy here actually, really cosy. I'd quite happily sit here for an hour or 2. No issues there. I can hear a creature coming.
You right?
Yeah, all good, yeah. Yeah, Tom, the inventor of the straight line mission, of course. First of all, where did the idea come from? Secondly, why? Why do you do this sort of thing? To yourself?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly where the idea came from. It probably came from me and Welsh Greg when we were in our teens. We used to just set off east from Aldridge and hop fences, explore quarries, farms, whatever we came across, rivers, and we found it the most exciting thing ever. And because we did that so much, we both knew that it is possible to just go through people's land. Whether it's right or wrong is another question, but we knew that barbed wires, hedges are no obstacle really, whereas most people would think no, it is, it's a barrier. Later on in life, when I was in my 20s looking for new adventures that are outside of the box that maybe no one's done before, I put the two things together and you've got the straight line mission. What if I could go straight for X amount of time or even across the country?
Yeah.
Can't remember the exact moment that it clicked, but
yeah,
it did at some point.
Yeah, well, it's an awesome challenge. I think it's the right level of craziness, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can imagine yourself doing it, and then when it comes down to it, it's difficult, but you've got to try and push through it and succeed.
It can be brutal.
It sure is brutal. As you guys have seen on several occasions. Yeah, and on this mission.
It's hard when you're out here, but when you're at home twiddling your thumbs, you're craving your next mission.
Yeah.
Because it's hardship and discomfort and pain, I think deep down we all crave on some level. But it's just exposing yourself to it makes you want to come back for more. It's like a drug.
Yeah.
But a drug that's good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You can see how far we've climbed up already. The river in the distance, that's what we crossed best part of an hour ago maybe. Here we are fighting our way through these clumps of small trees, saplings I suppose. And there's Mr. Tom Davies, standing proud.
Roger Moore.
Well, that's a nice view. We can see the sort of bare hillside that we've got to ascend.
Bare buttocks.
Yes, indeed.
As you might expect in an area as remote and wild as the Scottish Highlands, the panorama opening up around us was becoming increasingly jaw-dropping, and our temptation to stop and admire the territory we were traipsing through was becoming ever stronger as we neared Camp 1B.
This is campsite 1. Marcus will be glad to know his friends are resident in the campsite.
That's a quick line check. Yeah, bang on. And in the distance is the sort of thing we're going to have to tackle probably tomorrow morning. We're going to descend into that valley and probably camp there. Tackle that big obstacle, the biggest hill of the trip, tomorrow morning. Ooh la la.
Ooh, okay, this is steep.
Yeah, these ravines tend to take you by surprise a little bit actually. Nothing too major this time, but...
We took this opportunity to refill our water bottles ahead of the final push to camp, narrowly avoiding one or two unforeseen obstacles and once again having to clamber over a slew of deer fences.
Well, this gate luckily is on our line, just as well, because we'd have had to go over 3 fences. That's very lucky.
What's up, Marcus?
I got some wet in my bag. I think this has been caused by this water bottle.
Don't
Don't know who lent that to me, but it was...
Wasn't me.
No. That's good though. It's good. But just leaks.
Don't think we'll be getting a deal from them.
My legs are starting to lose a bit of power.
Can start to, like sometimes your knee will buckle inwards or your ankle will roll suddenly and you just haven't got the sort of strength to stop it from happening.
A rolled ankle is something Tom knows about all too well, as you might remember from his 3rd Wales mission.
The engine's labouring. Although I suppose by the end of this trip I'll have thighs the size of Botswana, so we'll see. The trees are comforting, aren't they?
Yeah, the trees are comforting.
It's welcoming.
And after meandering through these welcoming trees, at the 12-mile point a certain Mr. Steve Phillips arrived.
Do you think the river's too wide to chuck the bags across in the morning? It does look quite wide.
I'd say it's far too wide.
Yeah.
Given the time,
Yeah.
unless you really wanted to try and push on, you're better off just camping at the end of this field. I would just be back here whatever time you're leaving in the morning,
Okay.
and I'll
And you'll help us cross.
help you cross and just pull the boat back and be done with it.
I'm happy
Right.
to camp here. All I'm bothered about is someone, for some reason, booting us off. I think if a farmer came, they probably would let
Well,
us.
it's
They'd
open
let us.
access in Scotland.
Yeah,
isn't it?
how can they boot us off? Now that is how you do a straight line mission.
Yep, prepared for anything.
Well, you've got like a bumper on the front there, so...
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if a sheep charges me, I just boom, I have him.
Yeah.
Get out a paddle, give him a slap.
The only thing is, you've got paddles and no vessel.
After taking a brief look at the river we'd be crossing in the morning, we decided to bed down for the night on one of the flattest, most ideal camping spots you're ever likely to see on a straight line mission. With the time approaching 5:30 in the evening, it was starting to get a bit nippy, and even a fairly light breeze was playing havoc with our tent assemblies. Soon enough though, we were able to tuck into our adventure food packed dinners and wrap up warm to give our aching bodies a much needed rest. And despite the early GPS mishap that very nearly threw the whole mission in doubt, after which we were very lucky to stay within the gold corridor, the rest of the day was completed within the 25-metre platinum corridor and with no more major mishaps. Plus we both had plenty left in the tank.
Great work today, Marcus.
Yeah,
You can-
cheers, yeah.
12 miles, your longest day of missioning.
It was actually
Ever?
just, yeah. I mean, it's bloody freezing now, but...
Yeah, I'll let you get in your tent.
Yeah.
Put it there, man.
Yeah.
I like
Cheers.
your I like your Rasta jacket, by the way.
Yeah.
When you're breaking the weed out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, something there.
Yeah. See you in the morning,
Yeah.
man.
No night, yeah.
No night.
In the next episode, I boot a pebble into orbit, Tom talks to a puddle, and Steve has a rough night.
Morning.
But just before you go...
Wait a second, I need your help with something.
So in my spare time aside from teaching, I actually run Epsom Chess Club, a community project which I launched from scratch back in 2018. I faced a fair bit of opposition at the time, mainly from other local clubs and members of the chess community who felt it would be pie in the sky and I wouldn't have a cat and hell's chance of getting Epsom Chess Club off the ground. But my rather perverse personality meant that I absolutely had to prove these people wrong and stick at it. A bit like with my straight line missions actually. Our first season in Division 4 of the Surrey League saw us finish next to last as a small group of avid Epsom players met obdurately in the corner of a dark pub, the only venue we could afford. But then in 2020 came the global pandemic, and whilst other clubs stagnated in this period, Epsom Chess Club made full use of the perfect storm, resulting in people being stuck indoors and getting hooked on the Queen's Gambit TV series to recruit new members online. When competitive chess resumed 18 months later, we became a force to be reckoned with, rising through the divisions, defeating our local rivals, and winning a winner-takes-all clash to reach the hallowed turf of the Surrey League's top division. And then came the greatest moment in our club's history, as we somehow won match after match in the 2023-24 season against far more established, illustrious and better funded opposition to win the league and become champions of Surrey for the first time. Safe to say, we had silenced the naysayers. This season we came third, albeit miles behind the winners, but more importantly, Epsom Chess Club is strong in other areas too. I run an independent 78 pupil strong junior chess club, and many of the most talented kids graduate to our adult club. We also have a good gender balance, which is not always the case at other clubs, and indeed the British chess scene in general, where roughly 2% of registered players are female. Moreover, our venue, Epsom Christian Fellowship, is fully accessible, meaning our 2 wheelchair users can actually get into our playing room, unlike at some other clubs. But the bottom line is that we are a hugely welcoming and inclusive club, and I am immensely proud of the community that we have managed to create here at Epsom Chess Club. But why am I telling you all this, you might be wondering, especially if you're not even really into chess? Well, to tell the truth, I need your help. In order to take our club to the next level, we need additional funding, aside from our income from membership fees, to support this incredible community as much as we can. The reality is that running a successful community group means planning lots of events for our adults and providing coaching for our juniors from top professionals who are way stronger players than I am and who can make a noticeable difference to our club. I am therefore running a fundraiser and would be very grateful if you could consider chipping in if you have the means to do so and enjoy my YouTube content. To be absolutely clear, you would be supporting my Epsom Chess Club community group and it would mean the world to me. Likewise, if you run a business and would like to sponsor us, please do get in touch. However, I don't want to take money away from other worthy charities, so if you would prefer to donate to an established charity, then please do that instead. Thank you very much for watching and donating, and subscribing of course, so see you in the next episode.